Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And on today's episode, we're going to recap from Kentucky's victory over Marshall, 118 to 82. And it was an impressive victory. One of the main things I was really happy to see was DJ Wagner finally had one of those games where he looked like the number one recruit coming out of high school. He ended up with played 26 minutes, but what I was impressed with, outside of the fact that he had 28 points, right? I'm gonna get to that. But the thing that impressed me the most was he shot 10 for 14. He didn't turn the ball over, and he actually was playing really good on defense. And I think for the most part, this team feeds off of defense. All the guys that get going, get involved, they all scrap really hard on defense. You know, we obviously have been talking about Reed Sheppard and, you know, how he just kind of been all over the court, making stuff happen. He's rebounding, stealing the ball, blocking shots, and making plays. And I think he's starting to rub off on everybody else. It just seems like they all are getting after it a whole lot on defense. Yes, sir. Salute, BBN. But yeah, everybody's getting after it on defense. And they creating a whole lot of opportunities on offense through their defense. It's really a joy to watch them play right now because the way they move the ball is just, it blows my mind that they so unselfish. This is probably a dream come true for Calipari because every time he gets a team, he gets all of these big egos, all of these five-star players. And one of the main things it seems like he always tries to drive home is play for your team. And this year he's got to be like mind blown because they taking it to a whole nother level. Ready for the next game, Miami. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, the Miami game kind of scares me a little bit, but I definitely think we can play with anybody in the country. I'll be more confident when we start to get some of our big men back. Hopefully, to be honest with you, I would be happy if we could get Bradshaw back by the middle of this month. Daryl, UK money, yes, UK is playing like money right now. But I would be happy if we could get some of the bigs back, probably Bradshaw, by the end of the middle of this month. They said Big Z was out with I think they said he had 104 temperature, so hopefully, Big Z is okay, or at least he'll be okay soon. And hopefully he could get cleared by the NCAA so he can join the team and become a part of this because I do feel like as much as I love the small ball and I love how Mitchell's playing, I definitely do think that in order for us to win the championship, we definitely got to have some rim protection. I know, like I said, we got all of these guys flying around trying to make plays on defense, but we need more people than Reed Sheppard and the Dude Thero blocking shots, right? And those guys, they've been getting after it. They've been getting a lot of hands on, a lot of hands in defenders' faces on jump shots and getting some blocks. And I definitely think the key to this team is their defensive tenacity. Big A said, excellent win. This is the best game I've seen DJ play ever, even going back to high school. I definitely agree with that. He looked like what we all thought he was going to look like. And hopefully this is a springboard for him to continue to play better. I think he was feeding off of the last game. He got a little bit of his confidence back. In this game, he took it to another level. But I feel like this game, he kind of played more off the ball, which it might actually be what's best for him. Maybe he's just not really a true point guard. and he's probably been forced to play point guard in high school, and probably thought that he was definitely gonna have to be the point guard for this team. But for some reason, I like the ball. I like when Rob Dillingham and Reed Shepherd do most of the playmaking, and when DJ feeds off of them, like he was kind of doing tonight, he was just finding himself in the right spot. He was making his shots. Like I said, he didn't turn the ball over, which is amazing. That's one of the things that just impresses me so much about the team is they don't turn the ball over that much. And it's definitely helping with the flow of the offense. Like they whip the ball around. They don't really seem to care whose hands it ends up in, whether it be Reeves, Reed, Dillingham, Wagner, Edwards, Mitchell. It's just like they just whip the ball around till somebody's open, and they just got a lot of guys that can make some shots. I know Justin Edwards been struggling, and hopefully eventually he'll have his breakout game, but he did okay. Let me see what he did. He ended up with 10 points. He shot 50%, 3 for 6. He was 3 for 4 from 3. So, everybody seemed to play pretty good. Nobody really played bad, I would say. Trey Mitchell did what he normally does. He gave us 18 points. He missed more threes than normal. He was only hit 1 for 4, but he still shot 8 for 15 from the field. So, we can live with that. Rob Dillingham, I think what I'm looking at right now shows 8 assists, but I think I heard them say he had 10 assists. So he had a nice, strong double-double with 16 points and 10 assists. And he actually had 5 rebounds. But everybody shot pretty good. Reed Shepherd was 4 from 6. Dillingham was 7 for 8. Wagner 10 for 14. Even Joey Hart was 1 for 2. Jordan Burks is kind of the one that he might be struggling the most. He's not really getting the opportunity to play. So I'm not really going to put too much into, what he's doing. He did end up playing 14 minutes tonight, but I don't know how much we can really expect out of him. Dude Thero was 3 for 6. Like I said, Mitchell 8 for 15, and Reeves was 8 for 13. So everybody overall played pretty well. Devontae said, yes, the rim protection is important. Yeah, definitely. That's the one thing that I feel like when I'm watching some of the games, and especially like when we lost to Kansas, I feel like if we would have just had a little bit of rim protection, we might have could have pulled out the Kansas game. And some of these other games where teams hang around a little bit too long, probably some of that is due to the rim protection. Because a lot of times we just undersized. And we got guys that's playing, they playing big. Like I said, Mitchell's our biggest guy, but he's always crashing the boards. And then we got him being supported by Thero and Reed Shepherd, and Justin Edwards crashes the board pretty good too. So we doing the best, and maybe some of these other guys are too. I know they said that like DJ and Rob had put on a lot of weight in the weight room. They was bulking up a little bit, and you can kind of tell. But yeah, man, I love the way they was passing the ball. I think at one point they said that they was averaging like their assist to turnover or ratio or something like that was like 2-to-1 or something like that. So they doing really well with protecting the ball, or it might even been higher. I can't remember exactly what they said, but I definitely appreciate the way they shared the ball. The way they whipping it around the court, man. I do think, Marshall, they kind of started off slow, and they had one little moment where they had like a 6-0 run that kind of scared me a little bit, but then Kentucky kind of kicked it back in gear, and they ended up setting the record, 69 points in a half. I think it's the record for the most points in a half in Rupp Arena. So that was really impressive. And then, they followed it up with 49 points. And at the end, they kind of took their foot off the gas, so they might have could have even got closer. Probably couldn't have dropped 60, but they might have could have added a few more if they wouldn't have eased up a little bit. But I really like to see that they kind of had the killer instinct, kind of just decided to go on and put it away. And a lot of times in the past, it seems like we had teams where they just let guys hang around and hang around and hang around until eventually they end up, maybe losing some games that they should have won. But this team seems to have a different feeling to it. Like they play hard all the way through. Even, when some of the guys ain't playing well offensively, they still always seem to be scrapping and hustling. And I was proud of them on this game, man. Like I said, I was really proud for DJ Wagner. Like my guy Big A said, he definitely looked like the number one recruit in high school. And I just hope that his confidence is back. Because I feel like he may have started to lose some confidence, man, because it's a lot of pressure. Everybody knows when you first come to UK and you're that guy, all the pressure's on you, and you think you're supposed to perform the best, you're supposed to be the best player, and then you have some other guys like Rob, like Reed, they kind of have some breakout games, and then, rumors are starting to circulate about transferring, and people are making videos saying what's wrong with DJ and all of that. And I'm sure some of that probably got to him a little bit. But I like to see that even with that, floating around, he still was able to stay focused and bounce back. And Rob had to go through the same thing at the very beginning because if I remember correctly, like I think the first Global Jam game or something like that, Rob didn't play really well. He was probably frustrated with his minutes. He's used to being the man, used to having the ball in his hands, and used to playing good. And I think Calipari had to just kind of talk to him and be like, look, just be patient, just hang in there. Your time will come. You'll figure it out. You'll play better. And that's what he did. He made the right statement. I think he said that, he was in it to win it. And he wasn't sweating it too much, and he looked like that was the truth. Like he just went back in the lab and kept practicing, kept working on his game, and now he's like, I think they said he's the second leading freshman scorer in the SEC, averaging 16 a game off the bench. So he's playing really well. Big A asked me, have I had a chance to check out Miami? No, I have not. I do need to watch Miami. They definitely was one of the teams that I had marked on the list when I was on the radio show in Lexington a couple weeks ago, and they were asking me what was some of the games that scared me. I said Miami was one of the games that scared me, and I even said Louisville was one of the games that scared me. And the reason why I said Louisville was just because the rivalry games are always scary trap games to me. I know Louisville's not playing really well, so more than likely we will win, but you just never know how those games are going to turn out. And I feel like there could be a pressure put upon this year's Kentucky team to beat Louisville. So I was definitely scared of that one. But I definitely need to check out Miami because I'm not really too familiar with them. But I know that, based on what they did last year and, what they had coming back for this year, it was one of those teams that I felt like definitely going to give us a run for our money. So I'm definitely scared of Miami. I had Kansas on there. I had Miami, Louisville, obviously North Carolina. Even though I haven't really watched them, they probably down a little bit, compared to some of the other years, but you still always got to be careful. And then when we get into the SEC conference, there's probably, 3 to 5 teams in there that could worry me a little bit. So definitely, there's a lot to be concerned with. But I do like the way that this team is playing. So I definitely feel like as long as they keep sharing the ball the way they do, as long as they not turning the ball over, and they hitting their threes. This is last year when Calipari said he wanted us to take more threes. this is probably what he was envisioning. Just this type of basketball where they just moving it around the perimeter and then guys are getting open and being able to make shots. And so he's got that this year. So let me see. Straight facts. He don't know, but it seems like Cal is always screaming at Rob and taking him out the game when he gets going. And he seen DJ and Antonio going over and talking to him in the game. Yeah, Cal, he be on Rob's ass a little bit. And I know Cal had made a comment earlier, a couple games back, where he said that like Rob still kind of makes some of those boneheaded high school plays, and he kind of made it seem like, well, he does a lot of good, so I'm gonna have to live with a couple of them, but he probably still frustrates Cal sometimes because Cal really don't like all of that, that fancy, shifty dribbling that Rob does. But that's what Rob is known for, and Rob's good at that. And there was a couple times tonight where that, Rob's ability to change directions and stuff in traffic got him a couple of pretty easy layups. So because it's just hard to cut Rob off because he just seems to have a lot of counter moves in his bag, and sometimes he will make some mistakes because he's not completely polished yet. And I think that's what Cal is saying, where he's like he got to live with some of them, but he definitely he holds Rob accountable for his mistakes for sure. And Fact said he looks like Rob was frustrated. Yeah, I mean it probably does annoy Rob some because Rob is probably looking at what he's doing right, and he's probably looking at it like, man, I'm giving you 16 points. I gave you 10 assists. Like, what more could you be wanting from me? But you know how Cal is. Cal he probably sees so much potential in Rob that he just wants to push him to make him great. Because I do feel like Rob is like that prototypical pro point guard. He's the guy that could potentially become a great shooter. He's not a great shooter yet, but he's a good shooter. Could potentially become a great outside shooter. He's got the ball handling. He can change direction. So he's the type of point guard that the NBA, that every team is looking for in the NBA right now. And he is playing better on defense. He's trying really hard. He's getting his hands in some passing lane, reaching down, trying to make some steals. So I feel like they're going to have a love-hate relationship where I feel like he's going to push Rob, and Rob's going to probably have some nights where he's just going to want to quit and be done with it. But eventually, when he moves on to the next level, he'll probably appreciate some of it, I think. Miami is ranked, but the ranking don't matter. I think this will be good, a good competitive matchup, says Devontae. Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely think they're gonna push Kentucky. But I just hope that Kentucky's ready. Like I said, I think Kentucky is getting confident. Last year, I think Kentucky started off confident in the summer, and then they came out and got smacked, and I think they lost all their confidence. When they didn't have to force feed the offense through Oscar Tshiebwe, I felt like they played more free, and the ball was, I'm not gonna say it was flowing around like this team, but it was closer to what this team is doing. And then when Oscar and Severe came back, I think things changed and guys got frustrated, got unhappy, and they really didn't know what their identity was. And I feel like this team is starting to develop an identity as a scrappy defensive team that runs and shoots threes. Like I said, we got to wait and see how they look whenever the big men come back. And hopefully that'll be soon. But, we just got to wait and see, keep our fingers crossed. Bradshaw's doing 5-on-5, but, they not really telling us much. They're just saying he's practicing again. Some people was posting some things like, could we have a Bradshaw sighting tonight? I knew for a fact he wasn't going to be playing tonight. Well, I didn't know for a fact. I thought for a fact that he wasn't going to be playing tonight. And like I said, I'm expecting him to be back probably mid-December too late December. But I just hope he's ready, and I hope that Cal. I really hope that he stays with some of the small ball philosophy that they're using right now, because I feel like when you have more perimeter players out there, I feel like that's what's creating this free flowing offense where the ball's just moving and people aren't overdoing too much and there's less turnovers. I feel like it's because they got better, better spacing and more ball handlers. And we all know Cal likes to play too big, so I don't want Mitchell to go to the bench. I still want him to play high minutes. But if they end up starting one of the 7-footers, probably Bradshaw. Bradshaw supposedly can, play out on the floor a little bit. But it's gonna be hard because Mitchell is playing so well. Like I hope that if he does end up going to the bench, that he doesn't get discouraged. But as of right now, I don't think he should go to the bench right away. I think Bradshaw, if he comes back, he should have to earn that starting position because Mitchell's just playing really good. He's, like I said, if I had to rank the play of the players right now, I would have put Reed Sheppard at number 1. I would have put Mitchell at number 2, followed by Rob and the dude Thero. And now I'd have to say DJ is creeping up because he done had 2 solid games back to back, and if he continues it, he might creep up on that list. But yeah, I don't want to see Mitchell just go straight to the bench. I think we need both of them. Devontae said, "Have we played Miami before?" I can't remember the last time we played Miami or if we've played them lately. I'm not for sure. JC said, "This is all for nothing if we lay an egg on Tuesday." Yeah, I mean, I hope that they come ready to play on Tuesday. I think they will play. I think they'll be competitive. I feel like of course they'll probably have a few games this season where it falls apart. That happens sometimes where just everybody plays bad. But they got enough guys where I feel like if somebody is playing bad, you can stop the bleeding really quickly by just bringing somebody else in. Like I said, tonight everybody pretty much played pretty decent. But if we have nights where guys are a little off, I feel like this is the year where Cal shouldn't be afraid to just switch somebody out and let somebody else get a shot. And if somebody else is playing better, he can ride them to the finish line. So hopefully, we won't lay an egg, especially, against some of these ranked teams, because we got to start beating some of these ranked teams again. We've been letting a lot of these ranked teams off the hook lately, so we got to get back to being able to compete with the ranked teams for sure. Slim Reaper said back in 2008, he thinks is the last time we played Miami. I'd have to check. I'm not for sure. But Straight Facts said Miami is better than Kansas in his opinion. I feel like I said, I got to check Miami out, but I feel like Kansas, I don't want to completely say they overrated, but I feel like they not a strong, definitive number 1. I feel like we had a chance to get them, and I feel like more so we kind of let them off the hook along with not having the size. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if we would have just had one of the rim protectors, some of the easier buckets that Kansas got, the second chance points, if we could have negated some of that, I feel like we could have got them. And that's even with, some of the guys that didn't play well, like Wagner and, I think Edwards didn't play good that game either. But even with that being said, I think if we would have just had a little bit of rim protection, probably still could have beat Kansas. So I definitely feel like Kansas is a little bit overrated, not to be completely disrespectful, but But yeah, I might try to find some game footage of Miami tomorrow and look and see what I think about them. Um, Check them out a little bit. But yeah, I really loved what I seen tonight. Um, I feel like there's not really too much more to say about it, man. We definitely we came to play tonight, man. And if we could get this type of production every night, I think we're gonna be tough. Big A said Miami will be the best perimeter defending team UK has played. And what does it say? Packing Poplar at are the best perimeter scorers they've faced. Yeah, see, I'm not familiar with Miami, but if they got perimeter defenders, this should be a fun game because we got perimeter scorers. So hopefully, hopefully we'll be able to slow them down because one thing that I do like about our team, I feel like we just got scrappy guys, man. Like I don't know how you would rate our guys as on-ball defenders. I don't know what grades you would give them, but I feel like we got guys that they're gonna fight to the end. They not gonna just give up. They're gonna get their hands in there, scrap. They're gonna try to take the ball away from you. So I think it should be a good matchup if that's the case. But like I said, I don't know nothing about Miami yet, so I got to get on that. But anyways, guys, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm going to go on and wrap it up right there. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, ate some good food, enjoy some time with your family. And, like I said, finally back to live streaming. And hopefully, if things go right, we'll be doing this more and more, not only after the games, but, hopefully a couple times during the week as well. But anyways, I appreciate it, man. And y'all take it easy. And we'll see you next time on Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson.